welcome back. We took what, like a 2 year hiatus,
Quick sabbatical.
something like that. It's just more ironic as I think our last episode was called We're Back,
Yeah.
but now we are just not Kyle. Like the
Addition by
fire.
subtraction.
Yeah, we got
Exactly.
Brando now,
I'm here for marketing purposes. That's all.
our Celtics insider.
Exactly.
All right. I mean, I guess should we start with FIBA then?
Yeah.
Yeah, that works for me.
Yeah, anyone got any initial takes? What was it? Germany won gold?
Yeah, I think Dennis Schroeder honestly looked pretty good. Like the way
Yeah.
that he was just running their offense and being a leader on that team. I've always been a huge Dennis Schroeder fan. I don't know what happens like during the season. But whenever I watch him play, he just looks like a great pure point guard. I don't hate him, I don't love him, but I think he's a very solid like role player. I think Franz Wagner was also like the most impactful player on that team if we're talking like inside the NBA.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, both those players looked really good for that team.
Yeah. I think Dennis Schroeder won MVP, what, 19 points, 6 assists, 2 rebounds, like 2 steals a game, basically.
Yeah, he was pretty much doing everything
Yeah, I don't,
for that team. Like,
if he played that consistently in the NBA, he wouldn't have like a new team every other year.
yeah,
I think that's the difference. That's what he needs to be successful is being like the guy on his team. Whereas in the
So,
NBA, like when he's on the Celtics, he was really good when we had guys injured. But when we had a whole roster there, he kind of slowed down and stopped the ball a little bit, tried to get his own a little bit too much. But when he's on a team like that, he can really, really shine.
yeah. I mean, I think, what was it? All five team was Dennis Schroeder, SGA, and Luka Bogdanovic. All basically, I mean, I feel like most guys that in the NBA that like aren't playing for USA or Canada, they're easily like the guy on their team.
yeah,
Because I think if
Yeah.
you look at like the top 10 teams that finished, 9 of them had NBA guys or like multiple NBA guys.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I feel like it also doesn't help. What was it? No, Lyle's comments that it's like not really the world championship. It's like realistically the best teams are in or players are in the NBA.
yeah, yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
it's championship.
And when we look at the Olympics, like the US usually does win. Like it's not like soccer where the World Cup is
No,
like the top goal. It's the
yeah.
Olympics.
It's
For
like, do you
sure.
enjoy beating up like middle schoolers all the time? No,
Yeah.
like you don't want to do that. So hey, we'll come over like every 4 years. We'll beat the shit out of you. We're done.
Yeah.
It's
Make
never
our statement.
close.
No. Especially with this next team we're about to have. That team looks tough.
It does, but it's going to be interesting to see like what teams don't or what players don't make the cut. So like Chris
That's
Paul
true.
said that he wants to join the team.
Yeah,
I don't think Chris
he's
Paul
not
is
making
making the
that.
cut. Like if
He
he
can
does,
watch.
it's yeah, if he does make it, it's just based off of his legacy and his name. But it's going to be interesting to see like what guys like if LeBron is playing, KD's playing, and Steph is playing. It's going to be interesting to see what guys get cut.
That's
I
true.
don't know. I don't know if this is a hot take, but I saw Draymond's also interested. I'd rather have Draymond on that team than Chris Paul.
I
Yeah,
mean, I
no,
would,
yeah, I would too.
especially
Yeah.
considering like you see where like our team lacked this year was definitely like size and rebounding.
hmm
Draymond can at least do that,
And he motivates guys. Like
and you know he's
he'll
not
get
gonna.
under his own teammate's skin and get them going. Chris Paul is just I feel like Chris Paul is just gonna whine and complain. He's not like he's a great on the floor captain, but I
Yeah,
feel like he's not that much of a leader, like a team leader.
Not only that, but like I think the US has plenty of guards. Like I don't think we're like hurting at the guard position. I think
Yeah.
maybe like power forward and center we could
yeah,
definitely use.
yeah. I feel like center is kind of the big one because it's like other than AD and Draymond, like who is it? Bam.
Joel could play because he's
That's
like a
true.
dual citizen, but yeah,
That'd be
like other
wild.
than that,
If Joel plays, it's just a wrap.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because yeah, what would that be like? Tatum, Braun, Katie, Steph, what Dame probably,
Dame's in there.
like
Kyrie said he's interested.
I think
Booker.
Anthony Edwards would get it just because
Yeah,
he
Yep.
carried this
go back
last
to
team.
Ant.
Yep.
Like
It
most
would
of
be
that,
tough.
I think you just cut. Don't let him. Don't let him run it back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like maybe I'd say give Jaren Jackson another chance because he's the only real big we have. But
yeah.
hmm
even him wasn't great.
Yeah. No, I agree. Sorry, Austin Reeves.
Dude, the Austin Reeves love is wild.
Yeah.
just everywhere. Did
It's
you
not
see
for
like,
me. I respect him, but I'm not gonna go crazy over him like everybody else is.
oh, yeah, did you see apparently like no other team actually offered him a contract?
Yeah, that was it was a little surprising, but again, I think he's pretty overhyped right now. I think he just fits well on the team that he's on.
That's what I think. Yeah, I feel like it's that plus just like the big market in LA specifically with LeBron
Yeah,
after Caruso. It's like NBA just needs that white guy for some reason on the Lakers.
yeah. Braun's gotta have his white guy.
True.
Yep.
I guess now we're going to the off season. Anyone got any like winners or losers of this off season specifically?
Losers, Celtics fans. Winners, the Celtics. That's how I'm gonna put that. Losing Marcus Smart, absolutely brutal. May have cried a couple nights, may still be crying every so often, but getting Kristaps definitely makes sense. He fits well. He can be more of an offensive threat to help out with Tatum and Brown, especially with what we saw in the playoffs, how they just couldn't always have it going at the same time or even separately. Third scorer on an elite team like that should definitely help. It sucks to lose your team's captain for sure.
You
Yeah.
know,
Um,
like the
I
new blue
think
hair.
Ah, the
I
blue hair is
hate
gonna
that.
hurt.
I hate that.
It's
That
gonna
hurt
hurt.
so much when he said that he's changing his hair. Like that was the one thing that I was hoping he would keep or just like go back to his normal hair color, but
Yeah.
yeah, that hurt. For my losers, I think the Atlanta Hawks are a pretty big one with losing John Collins. I think they've always wanted to get rid of him, but
Yeah,
like they didn't really get any substantial assets back. They got Rudy Gay in a second round pick. Like that kind of hurts, and they're never really like that good in the draft.
Rudy
Um,
Gay's in the league.
yeah, yeah. So they got Rudy Gay in a second round pick for John Collins. So obviously like they cleared up his cap space, but it's not really like a good return. And then the Knicks were another loser for me. They didn't make a single pick in the draft. They lost Obi Toppin, lost Derrick Rose, and the biggest name that they signed in free agency was Dante DiVincenzo. Like that's a pretty rough offseason for the Knicks when they were like not even average in the Eastern Conference. My two winners were the Suns and Wizards, just because obviously the Suns got Bradley Beal, like that's an easy one.
Yeah,
But they also got pieces around Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant that like are good role players, and they got them for good money, like Bol, Eric Gordon, Josh Okogie, and Damian Lee. And then for the Wizards, they traded Bradley Beal and they got Jordan Poole and Patrick Baldwin from the Warriors, which I think are two good pieces to build the future around. And then they got Landry Shamet for depth and Tyus Jones for their starting point guard role.
Yeah.
how about Tyus Jones? Damn,
Yeah.
Underrated.
facts. I would say my biggest loser. I don't mean Sixers and Blazers probably because like you got one star on each team that wants to leave, and
Yeah.
they're basically just stuck there. So it's just that weird transition period. It's like they might win it out in the trades, but most likely they're not. So now they're just gonna kind of stuck for a while. But like
Yeah.
on top of that, I would say like the Raptors, like they let Fred Van Vliet walk. Like, so you think maybe, hey, they're finally just gonna blow it up and restart, but then they try to like make like additions that like somewhat keep them competitive, like Dennis Schroeder, we talked about, like Jalen McDaniels. It's like, what exactly are they doing? I couldn't
Yep.
tell you, other
Yeah.
than trying to be stuck being mediocre, which doesn't help you either way.
No.
Yeah,
I also had the Sixers. I didn't want to bring it up, but
yeah, I
um
figured I had to.
yeah, also Embiid saying like I know he was like trolling, but saying like I just want to win a championship, whatever it takes. I don't know where that's gonna be, whether it's in Philly or somewhere else. Like that's it's a tough quote.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at this point, I think it's honestly just going to be Embiid's going to say the right things when his contract's up. Just going to be like, "Can you just sign and trade me?"
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't blame him for not wanting to come back. It's been painful. It's been
Yeah.
painful like 4 years.
Well, it's like you guys have so much talent every single year,
We screw it up
and
somehow.
like yeah. And I
Like
guess the Celtics are kind of like similar, but at least we made it to the finals one year, but like
it's true.
it's just tough.
Yeah.
Honorable mention. Biggest loser is John Morant's PR team. Biggest winner would be people make motivational t-shirts that he was wearing afterwards to try to make it all right. What was it, like accountability, character, rebirth, stuff like that. It's like
Gratitude. Okay.
yeah, that's definitely the move. If I ever mess up bad, I need to go buy some of those t-shirts, just wear them around, get a couple photos taken, I'm good to go.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I would say like the Memphis, like they kind of won the offseason. Like they got Smart, as you said, like who will probably hold y'all more accountable than anyone else on that team has.
Yeah.
It's definitely needed. Because like, let's be honest, Dylan Brooks wasn't acting like an idiot before Ja got there, and Mike Conley was in the locker room. Ja got there, they all started thinking they're a gangster.
Yeah. It's
And
bad.
they got Derrick Rose. Like that's a great
Oh,
addition
that's
for
true.
Ja.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a great mentor.
I feel like
Yeah.
Derrick Rose is gonna look at some of them and just start laughing.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen like any of the like Bleacher Report lists?
I saw it
Yeah.
briefly.
I also saw like a CBS one today. They came out with like their top 20 and Jaylen Brown wasn't even in their top 20, which is ridiculous. Like I don't know how like these writers come out with these lists and like I
Yeah,
don't know. It's just like absurd some of the players that they have ranked on that list.
yeah, it's so like honestly, just to start like with the big three list, I saw like once it was like Chris Middleton, Giannis, and Drew Holiday as like honorable mention, like all right, it's already just a bad list.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But then like CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, and Zion at five. Like Zion's played what, like 140 games? Like
Yeah.
CJ McCollum hurt most of last year. I don't know how you put them in the big three. We haven't seen them play like probably more than 10 games together. But then
Yeah.
you like even like here's my thing. They put what Tatum, Brown, and Porzingis third.
They were three, yeah.
I think what like last year it was them and Smart at five. I don't really know
Yeah.
if that says like a two per player ranking jump, but like I don't know. I feel like more of anything, it's just like there's like three big threes in the NBA. It's like Booker, KD, Beal, like Giannis, Middleton, Holiday, and then like you could argue Kawhi, PG, and Russ. Like outside that, it's mostly like duos with like a really solid like third player.
Yeah, they had Jokic, Murray, and Gordon at number one. And
Yeah,
that's just like such a basic pick to like put them at one after
exactly.
they win a championship.
Yeah,
Like they're a good trio, but like they're not number one over KD, Booker, and Beal.
no,
But
not at all.
It's kind of wild. It's like that's a really good duo, but then you're throwing Aaron Gordon in. No disrespect
Yeah,
to Aaron Gordon, he's a good player, but you can't be like, oh, elite big three member. Like big
yeah,
three used to be like Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, or
yeah,
LeBron James, Chris Paul, or not Chris Paul, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. It's
yeah.
like that's a
yeah,
big three.
Those
Steph
are three.
Curry, Klay Thompson, KD, not Aaron Gordon.
Yeah, and like even that, like the whole team was good. Like Michael Porter Jr., like
Yeah.
Colo won a championship. Like Bruce Brown, like that was
Hmm.
a team
yeah.
with two dynamic players.
Aaron Gordon had flashes, but he's not like I
Yeah,
don't even know if I'd call him a star.
no,
But
No.
he's
I
like
think
a
you have to be
fringe
like
all star.
at least a superstar to be in a big three.
Yeah, like there's not big threes left in the NBA.
Yeah. I think the closest one is KD, Booker, and Beal, though. I think that is
Oh
like
yeah,
on the I think that is the big three.
if anyone, that would be it. And
Yeah.
I don't think it's close talent wise to the next big three.
Yeah.
Like, well, even their like top 25 list had so many problems.
Imagine if the Sixers kept Jimmy Butler, Embiid, and then they got Harden for Ben Simmons. Like that would be a crazy big three if they had those.
I think about those days a lot. I
Yeah.
see those just like in my days, just sitting around like, what would have happened if we kept Jimmy?
Yeah.
Probably have a couple titles right now.
Probably.
But no, no. Oh, that's just upsetting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they Bleacher Report also had the top 25 players under 25.
They did.
They had Luca at one, which I do not agree with. I think
I
Tatum's
wouldn't
one
either.
easily. I think Luca, like skill wise, he could definitely be number one. But like, if you're taking, I'm assuming like ranking
Offensive skill.
players, yeah, but like if you're ranking players under 25, you're thinking like, who am I going to build a franchise around? And Luca hasn't really like done anything to win. So I think
Honestly,
Tatum's one for me.
I'd agree. I agree with that. Like
But
honestly, even watching like Luca in like the FIBA games, it's hard. Like I was telling Dylan, like I did like a count of how many times I caught him just complaining to the refs.
Yeah.
It was before he got ejected. I think we were saying at like 35, 40. It's just like he's not a great like it's kind of it's like partially on him, but like also like on the Mavs, they've just babied him his whole career. So
Hmm.
he can get away with whatever he wants. Like he has a problem with the coach. Oh, we'll just fire the coach. He doesn't like
Yeah.
the star. We'll get rid of the star. It's like you got to make him accountable at some point.
Yeah,
It's like if
it's
he's gonna be
bad.
the leader of your team and he's complaining and not playing defense, like I don't want that. Like I don't care how good he is on offense, he's not making people better.
Yeah,
They also
it's
had
tough to watch.
they had Shea at number 9. Personally, I'm taking Cade, or I'm taking Shea over Cade.
Yep.
I'm taking Shea over Darius Garland.
Yep.
And after last season, I'm taking him over Trae Young.
Oh yeah. Like what he made first team All NBA last season. We're just gonna put him that far down.
Even like Zion skill level, he's definitely up there, but like he hasn't done
Yeah, he hasn't
anything to
played.
prove that he's yeah.
Yeah. Like let's see. So Zion has played in 36% of intentional games as a Pelican.
Yeah.
Wow,
That's just
that's tough.
and they paid him all that money and he just doesn't play. So it's like
Yeah.
we can say how talented he is or isn't, we don't really know. So putting him like top 10 in anything is just kind of dumb.
Well,
I
you
think the
definitely.
one go ahead.
But better.
I think the one correct player that they had on that list was Melo at 10. That's the only thing that I agree with.
I feel like I take him like over a couple players.
I don't know.
Even that's like I could see it being like close.
I think like off of his name, like in marketability, like yeah, 100%, but I don't know. He's had a tough few years in the league. Like he hasn't really led the Hornets to anything. Like yeah, he is a flashy player, but he gets hurt like Zion too. Like he misses a lot of games. He's had the talent, like he's had decent talent around him, but I'm taking Darius Garland over him. I'm taking Zion. I'm taking Ant. I'm taking Trey. I'm taking Cade. Maybe not Cade. I think that's
Yeah, I was gonna
maybe
say
the
we're
only
gonna complain
player.
about people being injured. Can't take
Yeah,
Kate.
so I'd put Melo at like 9 or 10. I think that's about fair.
I don't know if I'd
Yeah.
say a lot of talent work, but the Hornets are a mess of a franchise.
They are, but like
They're
if you
so-
look at a lot of these guys on the list, like he's had some decent talent around him.
that's
Gordon Hayward.
Gordon
fair.
Hayward, Terry Rozier,
No, that was mainly a joke.
Miles. Yeah, but he's a vet. Like that's a
Yeah.
good vet to have around you for a young
When he's
guy.
playing though,
Yeah,
he
when he's
doesn't
playing, I feel
play.
like he's not.
Miles Bridges, PJ Washington, like
Oh, do you really want to be mentored by Miles Bridges?
not a
No.
mentor, but like
I don't want him around.
skill around him. Like Miles Bridges was putting up good numbers when he was like actually playing in the league.
Yeah, but that was just 1 year.
Yeah, but it's still more than a lot of those guys had.
I mean, Ant's got what like Cat, Rudy Gay or Gobert at one point was somewhat of a
Yeah,
solid player.
I'd say Ant has Cat, but like Cat's not even like I don't know. He's very good, but you can't really rely on him. And then Cade, like obviously it's the Pistons. They have a ton
Yeah,
of young talent, but Cade's pretty much the only person on that team. Darius Garland just barely got help. Zion, like he has CJ
he's
McCollum.
part of a big three right now, man.
Yeah,
Top
yeah.
five.
Yeah, the list was definitely interesting. I definitely agree with Stephen A. I don't know if you guys saw that, but he put Tatum at 1. I feel like people definitely sleep on defense when they're making these lists. Like
Oh,
everybody has Luca at
100%.
1, but Luca can't guard anybody. Like,
No,
dude, just he does not play defense. I actually moved him down to 3. I put Ja at 2, Tatum at 1. Rest of the list, I moved guys up and down maybe a couple spots, but I didn't like their big 3 that they came out with.
yeah. Like honestly, even Jordan Poole being at like 22 was kind of
That's
wild.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like had Jared Allen ranked over him.
I think Jordan Poole's gonna have a great year this
Oh,
year. I think he's gonna go off on the
yeah.
Warriors.
Like we think about, we say he had like a down year last year. He still averaged
Wizards,
20.
Or what yeah,
Yeah.
Wizards, sorry.
you're good.
Yeah. Man still averaged 20 on a down year as like off the bench as like the third option.
Yeah.
As a first option with the ball in his hands. I'm
Yep.
saying probably what he might get like 30 points a game.
I think I like Kuzma more than Jordan Poole. I have him for my pick for most improved player, Kuzma.
Really.
Really?
Yeah.
Kyle Kuzma.
I
Did
feel
you
like
see what he
Jordan
said
Poole's
about
good, but I don't know if he can like actually be that number 1 option because he just plays wild sometimes. Like he needs a guy to defer to when he's like
But
playing like that and not
Kuzma,
playing well.
I don't know if I'd say Kuzma would be that guy. Like
Well, no,
Ryan-
no, no. I wasn't saying Kuzma's that guy. I think
uh,
Jordan Poole just isn't enough of that guy. Like he was on the Warriors and he'd have games where he could just go off and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson could cover him if he played bad. On the Wizards, he isn't going to have that. So he'll have some really good games. We have some really bad games as well. I just think Kuzma is going to be more consistent and more ready for that role. Not that
that's
they're going to be
true.
a good team and he's not going to lead them to anything, but I think he's going to put up better numbers than Poole this season.
But Jordan Poole is coming off the bench on the Warriors. Like it's very tough to come off the bench and put up consistent numbers. But the fact that he was like putting up like 30 points in one night and I don't know, like 15 in another, like at least he's showing flashes. But it's very hard to put up consistent numbers off the bench.
Sometimes you're also playing against other bench players at that point.
I mean,
Kind of, because they were playing him as like a like
yeah, like,
1A or 1B
yeah,
to Steph.
kind of like a combo guard.
Yeah, because they would move Clay down to three a lot or like put him in for Clay. Like I think he's definitely shown a lot, and I think he'll do really well in his new role.
Yeah. I would say for me, I picked for most improved. I put Jalen Green. Like
I like
Rockets
that.
finally have help. Kevin Porter Jr. is probably not going to be there now,
Yeah, it's
Yep.
wild.
but so like what they got was it a men they got or a SAR?
I think they got a men.
Okay, yeah. So they got like a playmaker in him, Van Vliet. Like both of those guys can kind of play make, so he's not really have to. Like they make that weird like AAU based backcourt for the Rockets last 2 years.
Yep.
I mean, you've seen him like put in work with like what Devin Booker, Kevin Durant this offseason. Like I think he probably goes to like 27 points a game. Maybe not like as efficient, but I think volume wise and then just highlight wise, people are just gonna love him. So
Yeah.
I got
Especially with Udoka, like if he can add like a defensive aspect to his game, like
yeah,
that'd be yeah, I agree with that. My most improved was Jordan Poole. Obviously, we've
yeah,
talked about him a lot, but I think he's a good pick for that.
yeah.
I mean, you got a little competition there. I like that.
Yeah,
Who do you
that's
have?
a nice one.
Oh, you
Kuzma.
have Kuzma, yeah.
Yeah.
Same
Don't
team
make
and
don't make that
everything.
face, Brendo.
I just think like that's not really a competition, but I guess we can circle back to it.
Oh, we will.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
Receipts.
Yeah. Who do you guys have for MVP? I know who DP has, but
Yeah,
Yeah, like obviously big Celtics fan. I took Tatum last year, take Tatum again this year. I don't think he's gonna do it with dominating numbers though. I think it's gonna be that way because I think the Celtics have a pretty good record this season with adding Kristaps Porzingis to their team. I think could see him averaging like I think he averaged a little over 30 last season, going down to like 27 or 28. He's gotten better as a passer. He'll get more assists with Porzingis in the starting lineup and Brown as well. So I could see like 27, 28, somewhere around there, and then like eight assists, 8 boards a game, and a record of like 55 to 60 wins, which might seem ambitious, but I think it's doable. So I think that's what probably pushes him over the edge is that number 1 seed.
I don't know the last time I remember you having an MVP bet and it wasn't Tatum.
I
It's been a while.
3 years ago. I took him the last 2 years, but he wasn't my MVP 3 years ago.
That's fair. For my MVP, I'm kind of gonna go ambitious here. I'm just gonna go Devin Booker, like Kevin Durant. Like we saw what he did at the end of the playoffs last season, like absolutely shooting the ball lights out. And now like you got Beal there to help him. He's probably gonna be on the ball more. So probably like he's gonna get his points, but now he's gonna get more assists, and like that team's gonna get more recognition than they ever did before.
Mhm.
So I think he's just gonna ride that momentum. Like I don't think they're gonna have like a great postseason stretch, but it's not really a factor for MVP.
I
Yeah.
see it.
I genuinely did not want to take a homer pick, but I looked at all the candidates and I think Tatum's if he has a consistent season, like what kills Tatum is that he starts off so strong
Yeah.
and like he's always like top three favorite.
Yeah.
And then after like a month or two, he just falls off and has like a really bad like 2, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And that's what kills him. If he can like avoid having that bad like 2, 3 weeks, then I think it's not a lock, but I think he'd be in a really good spot
Yeah.
for MVP.
Like he could just even start bad like the first 2 weeks
Yeah.
and then turn it on, he'll be fine. Like it's really just like down the stretch what happens.
But like in December, like that's when people like start watching because like
Yep.
football's ending and like
Yeah.
when people see like Tatum like putting up like I don't know like 20 a game like in
Yeah.
December or something like that, like it just hurts.
Yeah, that's true. Then you finally tune back in.
Yeah.
So who you guys got for rookie of the year?
I took Amen Thompson. I think out of college or out of overtime elite, like he just looked like the best prospect to me. Other than Scoot, I think Scoot's definitely got a good chance, but I think a lot of people are going to be taking Scoot. So if I'm putting money on it, I'm probably going to take Amen just because of like Udoka coming into that Rockets system. I think it's going to be a good system for him. But yeah, that's what I took.
I think I'm gonna take one that a lot of people forget about. I'm gonna take Chet. I think Chet's got a pretty good shot at it. A lot because of what I said with the
I hate
Tatum
that
argument.
pick.
Well, I think so. He's going to put up good enough numbers, and like everybody's going to be obsessed with Wembanyama. I think Chet's going to do similar things, but on a better team with a better record. And I think record does play a pretty big role in awards like that. So if he's contributing to a good team that could be like a fourth or fifth seed in the West, I think that makes a huge difference.
Do you think people are going to vote for him after like the Ben Simmons, Donovan Mitchell thing though?
Yeah, 100%.
But
Well,
I
it's
mean,
not people. It's
Yes, the
it's like
media,
the
but do you
analysts and the
think
media.
like I don't know if they will after like all that controversy.
I think they will. If he deserves it, they will. And if he's on a good team playing like
What if it's a
25 to 30 minutes a
yeah,
game.
but when
what
is
if
it
it's a
like?
close race?
Well, then
I don't
it
know if
could
they
come down to
will.
anything. It could come down to record, like who's on the better team, who's contributing
Yeah,
on a playoff team.
Yeah, but
I
realistically, I
don't
feel
know.
like rookie year, it's never really mattered if their team wins or not. Like last year was what, Paolo?
Yeah,
Like we've had like Andrew Wiggins when they've all been on bad teams. Like
yeah.
that's kind of how you get to that spot. Like, and plus like
Yeah,
Chet's also sharing the ball with SGA, first
but
team All NBA. Like that'll take away numbers.
if they can go out and be a four seed in the West and he's putting up like 15 to 20 points while doing that, we know he's going to get rebounds. He's a decent passer. If he's putting up those numbers on a really solid team in the West where there's a ton of competition, I think that helps his case for sure.
That's fair. I mean, here's
Do you
the thing.
think he can stay healthy though?
I think so. I think what happened was a fluke injury. I mean, it's not like he did anything wrong. He just literally stepped wrong. It's not like I don't know. You can't train the bottom of your foot, I don't think.
Yeah, but he broke a bone. Like I don't know. He
Yeah,
was
but I mean,
backpedaling and broke a bone in his foot. Like
anybody can do that. Tatum broke a bone in his hand, right?
no, I
I
get
mean,
that, but like
people break bones all the time.
there's guys like Gordon Hayward that are just like prone to injuries. Like I don't know.
Weak
I'm not a
bones.
big check guy, but I don't know if he's had a lot of injuries like that before this,
I
though.
don't think he has, but like
Yeah.
it's definitely not a good sign.
Nope,
Yeah.
it's not, but
Yeah, here's my. I think it's just gonna go to Wemby because he's gonna do what Chet does, but like there's no one really on the Spurs that'll take a touches from him. So I think he'll have like the beginning of the year, like he's gonna struggle at the beginning, but like turn it on, and then everyone's gonna be fascinated with him. So they're just gonna keep watching. Like it's a safe bet. But I would, honestly, if we knew what was happening with Dame in Portland, I probably would have went Scoot.
mhm.
Yeah.
But I have no idea what's happening there.
That might mess up the chemistry too. Like
It really will.
Dame, like if he doesn't get traded, like not reporting to camp and everything like that.
Yeah.
Like that's tough for a rookie to go into the NBA and just like not know what's going on
Yeah,
with
like
Dame.
your star player is just not there.
Yeah, and you don't know if you're gonna be like running the one or the two. Like
Yeah.
that's tough.
Because like even like honestly, all three, four of their guards are like I feel all score heavy. Like they got Simons,
Yeah.
Jaden Sharp, now Scoot, and then Dame. Like I don't know if
Yep.
it's gonna be a weird way for them all to coexist if they're not all there to start it off.
Yep.
But I don't know. I mean, anyone have anyone for defensive player of the year?
I took Evan Mobley. I think
Oh, that's a
he
good
got a
one.
lot of hype
That's
last
a good
year.
one.
Not a ton of hype, but like I think coming off of his last season, he like started to ramp up at the end of the year. And I think he's gonna get a decent amount of hype this year because he's a great defensive player
Yeah.
and like the Cavs are I think they're gonna surprise a lot of people like they did last year.
Yeah, I respect that. Actually, I'm sick. I took two reverse homer picks for defensive player of the year. I took Bam, which hurt me. I think obviously very solid defender. I think he's gonna have to step up a little bit to make like push the Heat over the hump. And then to skip ahead, I took Caleb Martin as sixth man of the year if he comes off the bench, which I think he will, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But those ones definitely hurt as Celtics fans to make that. So
Yeah. I mean, I just went safe. I just went AD.
there you
I
go.
mean, again,
Yeah,
it's also if he stays healthy, like you never know.
it's a big if.
Yeah,
It
very.
is.
I said six man though. I don't know if he is coming off the bench, but I put Russ
Yeah, that's a good one.
coming off the
It's a
bench.
sleeper pick.
Yeah.
I didn't take a six man, but I'd go Brogdon,
Oh, what a
even though
homer pick.
even though I don't like Brogdon that much this year because he screwed over Marcus Smart. Still getting over that one. But yeah, I'd probably go
Never,
Brogdon.
I'll
Is
never get
Brogdon
over
coming
that.
off the bench?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Who's the starter?
Derek White.
Yep. Derek White was amazing last year in the playoffs. Like he was probably behind Tatum and Brown. He was definitely the best player on the Celtics throughout the playoffs.
It's not
I mean,
even the game I have a problem. It's just the hair.
there's no
He's
more.
bald now. Yeah, he's bald.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yep.
I have no problems with him anymore.
He
Good.
shaved it
Really, my
off.
only problem I ever had with him.
He's gonna get
Great
waves
guy.
now.
Yeah, great guy.
If he can get waves, I'd be shook. We got 4 minutes left, but I was gonna say I saw this thing on Instagram. It was most overplayed players in history according to Hoop Hype's real value metric. I'm just gonna list you off the top 10 guys.
Yeah.
Can you anyone guess who number one is though? Pretty recent player.
You said
Um,
overpaid?
Yeah,
Gordon
So
Hayward.
he is number two.
John
Ah,
Wall.
It is John Wall.
it's a
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah. Three, Klay Thompson.
Ooh,
Four, Tyson Chandler. Five, Juwan Howard. Six, Kevin Love. Seven, Dikembe Mutombo. Eight, Nicholas Batum. Nine, Chandler Parsons. And 10, Al Horford.
Oh, I
Al
don't like
Horford.
that.
Oh man,
I would like that Al Horford one if it counts as like the Sixers overpaying him. Because like
It
that
probably does, yeah.
technically is
For
true, but
that,
like
yeah,
I don't think you can say that this like the Celtics overpaid him because he was very good with the Celtics. If it's
is
like yeah,
still
he
is.
is. But like if it's the Sixers slash Thunder overpaying him, I'm fine with that.
yeah. Honestly, I feel like a lot of these players, like, they weren't really overpaid. Like, some of them definitely, like, Klay Thompson, I'm not going to say he's overpaid. He's got 5 rings.
Yeah, he earned that.
Yeah, he deserves all that money. Like, a lot of these guys are, like, all-stars, like, couple-time NBA champs. Like, they got what they got probably because they helped win a championship. So I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
But then you got guys like Nicholas Batum, 10 points on his career, 3 rebounds and assists.
Chandler Parsons.
Yeah,
That one
Chandler
was
Parsons.
bad.
Yeah. Like Gordon Hayward, like, yeah, I would say like,
Gordon, that's tough though, because like
yeah,
he was an all-star coming to the Celtics. Like he was
yeah,
supposed to be like it was supposed to be him and Isaiah Thomas.
yep,
Then we traded Isaiah Thomas. It was him and Kyrie. They were supposed to bring
and
us
Jalen
to
Brown. Yeah,
yeah, him, Kyrie, Jalen Brown, Tatum, Horford. Like
yeah,
that was a super team at the time.
yeah.
But
I would say that was good. I think it's more of like after that going to the Hornets, like I think he still got like 80 million.
yeah,
Like that probably put him over the top. But like two, I can see John Wall. I mean, John Wall did a lot for the Wizards.
he did. Yeah,
So I don't really know if I'd say like he's overpaid.
I'd say like the Rockets overpaid him because they didn't really play him and he was hurt. But
Yeah. After that, like even like other than that, like I think most of these guys are like well paid for what they've done.
yeah,
Like even Kevin Love, like one-time champ, but like in Minnesota he was a problem.
he was.
Like even the Cavs he helped. I don't really
Even last year, like Kevin Love was very good last year.
exactly on the Heat. He did everything he needed to.
Yeah.
But all right, I guess we got a minute left, so I guess
Good
we're
first
back now.
episode.
Yeah,
We are
Great
back.
first episode.
maybe we'll get Kyle on here for one episode.
Kyle and
I like that.
Dion.
Yeah, I like that.
Definitely die on. Screw
All
Kyle.
right. See you guys for episode 2.